Freshly graduated but struggling to find work. Months after graduation, he's still jobless.
Toughest job season. 10 million plus college students in 2023 are unemployed upon graduation. The year 2023 marks a challenging time for college students in China, as over 10 million of them are expected to face unemployment upon graduation. This situation is not only caused by the current economic recession, but also by the increasing number of college graduates. In this challenging job market, many college students are facing the toughest job season of their lives. Today, we'll dive deeper into the reasons behind this phenomenon and explore the challenges that these young graduates are facing in their job search. Stay tuned till the end to know more about it. According to the latest statistics released by China's career development platform, Julian Recruitment, the 11.58 million Chinese college students graduating in 2023 are facing the toughest employment season in history. The contracting rate for engineering graduates, which has traditionally been high, is only 17.3%, while the contracting rate for liberal arts graduates is as low as 12.4%. This indicates that many graduates may become unemployed upon graduation. In the past 2 years, more and more young people, including college graduates from just a few short years ago, have joined the unemployment army. One such individual is a former 201 Key University student who has been unemployed for almost 2 years. In her third year of college, she attended a spring job fair, wrote a one-page resume, and sent it to well-known companies. However, she did not make it to the next step as her resume was not as impressive as others, which contained awards from various competitions, while hers was about selling toilet paper in a park as a small salesperson. This was a particularly anxious period for her as she was struggling to understand why she could not find a job. To improve her chances of getting hired, she spent 800 yen to take an emotional intelligence course. Eventually, she received her first interview notice, which made her really happy, even though it was not a big company. She researched the company's corporate culture, business, and other information and memorized it all, believing that it would demonstrate her sincerity. However, the interviewer looked at her with a skeptical expression, and a day later, she received a rejection notice. She cried for a long time, and it made her think that she was just a mediocre person. Many young people are unaware that after 3 years of the zero COVID policy, finding employment has become increasingly difficult. In 2023, China's economy has been severely affected, resulting in widespread layoffs across the country. Finding a job has become incredibly difficult. The student, who had been jobless for 2 months, traveled from Horsham to Guangzhou for a job interview. However, the interview didn't go well, and the person felt that they weren't a good fit for the company. It seems that there are many unemployed people this year, and the hiring season in March and April hasn't been fruitful. The person has submitted their resume to several companies, but many of them have not responded. Beijing's unemployment problem is quite scary, and the person has experienced 2 layoffs in just 2 years of working. Despite contacting around 1,000 companies and sending 200 resumes, the person has only been interviewed by nearly 30 companies in their 10-day stay in Beijing. Graduates from previous years, especially those from the class of 2022, have been looking for jobs for a year and have been unsuccessful. The hopes for college graduates in 2023 will be even slimmer, which has perplexed many recent graduates. They sometimes wonder what the point of their studies was, as the course content of their majors was very broad and they feel like they know a little bit about everything, but nothing is truly mastered. After leaving university, many realize that their majors are not much different from those who have never been to university. They all know a little about how to write a copy. One recent graduate mentioned that they've interviewed nearly 50 companies since graduation, and there are companies where the internship period doesn't pay a penny, and there's no chance to become a full-time employee. They question the sanity of people who accept internships like this. A good friend of theirs from college in Beijing works for a famous film and television company, earning a salary of 7,500 yuan, or about $1,090 per month. While this may seem like a decent salary for a fresh graduate, their friend rents a small apartment in Beijing with only a dozen square meters, and her rent costs $300 per month. The recent graduate was shocked when they went to visit their friend for half a month and found that she worked until 1 a.m. almost every day. On several occasions, she didn't get home until 3, 4, or 5 in the morning and had to go to work again at 7. Even on her days off, when the company called her, she had to go to work. She expressed doubts about her ability to survive until the day of promotion and salary increase because she was already feeling unwell. On the afternoon of March 3, 2023, at a press conference at the Chinese Communist Party's 2 sessions, when asked about the employment rate, the press spokesman for the CPPCC Congress said that overall employment pressure is indeed higher in 2023, with more than 11.5 million college graduates expected to find employment. The number of college graduates expected to find employment in 2023 is nearly 800,000 more than the previous year's figure of 10.76 million, resulting in increased pressure on graduates seeking employment. A netizen suggested that graduates should pay to work for companies as a way to improve both employment and business prospects. Another suggestion was for new college students to apply for jobs as soon as they are born, which would solve the problem of employment and promote population growth. In July 2022, official Chinese data showed that the unemployment rate among 16 to 24-year-olds reached nearly 20%, the highest level since the Communist Party began publishing this figure in 2018. A video has surfaced showing two graduates from China's most prestigious university, Peking University, who have only managed to save 1,000 yuan, or about $150 in the 3 years since their graduation, by working as takeout delivery workers. This has inspired others to consider working as takeout delivery workers as well. The employment situation in 2023 seems to be very serious, as evidenced by the high number of people in the subway during work hours. The issue of unemployment among university students has become increasingly prominent in recent years. In 2023, it's expected that the situation will continue to worsen, as many graduates will struggle to find employment upon completing their studies. This is due not only to the current economic recession, but also to the high number of college graduates in China. Looking back to the 1980s, China's education system underwent a significant transformation, benefiting from the free atmosphere of reform and opening up. During this time, intellectuals once again assumed the role of representing social conscience and responsibility. The number of college students was relatively low, with only about 600,000 enrolled. However, in the 1990s, the population of young people grew rapidly to about 20 million, resulting in a significant increase in the number of students attending colleges and universities. At that time, college students were known as the pride of the earth, and employment was not a significant issue, as virtually everyone was able to find a job after graduation. After 1998, the former party leader, Jiang Zemin, vigorously promoted the commercialization of universities, resulting in a rapid increase in the number of university students. However, this transformation has brought about several challenges. The industrialization of education has become a synonym for high fees, and colleges and universities have gradually transformed from institutions with the fundamental goal of cultivating social conscience and free spirit to education training businesses with the goal of making a profit. This has fundamentally changed the connotation of Chinese education, and the common practice of special talent classes, gifted classes, and high tuition fees has led to the expropriation of resources invested in compulsory education in China. The consequence of this shift in the education system is that the burden of tuition fees has become increasingly heavy for families, particularly for those with lower income levels. The practice of charging high fees has also led to the creation of so-called elite schools, which are beyond the reach of the general public, and this has resulted in a social divide in schools, with students being divided into different classes based on their family's wealth. A study in 2005 showed that based on the ability to pay, China's university spending was at the world's highest level, more than 3 times that of Japan. It took an urban resident 4.2 years of net income and a rural resident 13.6 years of net income to support an undergraduate student. The rising tuition fees of higher education in China have become a major concern for many families, pushing them into poverty. In recent years, the industrialization of student housing, support services, second degrees, and credentialing have turned many private education institutions into money-making machines. Except for the extremely humble private schools for migrant children, most private education in China is supported by high fees that are beyond the reach of the general public and are called elite schools. And this has made children's education one of the major expense items for Chinese families, with the heavy burden of tuition making schooling unaffordable for the poor. Furthermore, in many primary and secondary schools, students are divided into different classes based on family wealth, creating a social divide. A study conducted in 2005 shows that China's university spending, based on the ability to pay as a percentage of per capita GDP, is at the world's highest level, more than 3 times that of Japan. At that time, the education industry was ranked second among the 10 most profitable industries in China by the media. Education, healthcare, and housing are considered by the public to be the 3 big mountains weighing down on the people. Unfortunately, China's colleges and universities have been increasing their enrollment without considering the students' future employment and without preparing them for the job market, leading to the current chaos and structural imbalance. This has resulted in many highly educated university students struggling to find jobs, leading to social and economic challenges for Chinese society. For instance, in Chengdu, a hiring site for a food factory has many highly educated university students seeking employment. It's increasingly difficult for fresh graduates, like the narrator, who majored in broadcasting and hosting, to find a job in Chengdu. Despite graduating with high hopes of conquering the world and making a career of her own, she quickly realized that the reality was far from her expectations. The society she relied on to survive gave her the most real slap on the face when she took her resume to apply for jobs. Internet companies and broadcasting instructors demanded unrealistic qualifications and work experience, which made her feel hopeless and disappointed. The fact that many college graduates in China are unable to find reasonable employment for several years in a row is not just a personal misfortune, but also a significant challenge for Chinese society. The investment of a Chinese family for more than 20 years is wasted, and a large number of social resources are squandered. As a result, the Chinese government needs to address the issue by reforming the education sector and creating more opportunities for young graduates to find jobs, leading to the economic and social stability of the country. As we wrap up this video, it's important to remember that the issue of unemployment among college graduates in China is a complex one with many factors at play. While the government is taking steps to address the problem, it's clear that more needs to be done to ensure that young people have access to meaningful employment opportunities. We hope that this video has shed some light on the challenges faced by college graduates in China. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more content on current events and social issues.